They built a toilet for $1.7 million.
Former President Donald Trump continues this week there in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, John. He started about 1:26. He's been going for about 34 minutes so far.
Questions on the debate, first of all. I know you've said that you will not do another debate. Some of your own Republican allies have come out and said that you missed the mark. No,
excuse me. Most of my Republican allies had said I was great in the debate. You're just like, a lot of other people at Fox.
Uh-oh, trouble in paradise, is it? It seems outside of the white glove handlers of Sean Hannity, Jesse Waters, and Laura Ingraham, Trump isn't too happy with his once prized megaphone.
Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse, all of these people, they covered it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
And the reason, daring to bring up the reality that everyone witnessed Tuesday night, he got his ass handed to him on a ketchup-less platter.
Vice President Harris was clearly well prepared, practiced on the offensive much of the night. Former President Trump did take a lot of the bait that she threw out in some of those answers.
Trump held a presser today in California where, aside from the usual ramblings and having to field questions about his relationship with Laura Loomer, a visual that will ruin my appetite for many a meals to come, he also went full extortion, admitting that if he gets elected, he will block emergency disaster funds to settle political vendettas. This one being with California Governor Gavin Newsom. Who knows who it will be with tomorrow.
And Gavin Newsom is going to sign those papers. And if he doesn't sign those papers, we won't give him money to put out all his fires.
But in a telling moment, he lost it with a Fox News reporter when she dared bring up the debate. Specifically, how many Republicans thought he did poorly, which set him off. Why? Because he did. Unless you think inciting terror in Springfield, Ohio is stellar leadership.
Questions on the debate, first of all. I know you've said that you will not do another debate. Some of your own Republican allies have come out and said that you missed the mark.
No, excuse me. Most of my Republican allies had said I was great in the debate. You're just like, a lot of other people at Fox. Well, why don't you say 94% of the Republicans said I did phenomenally in the debate. Some said that I could have been tougher. I don't know how I could have been tougher when I said he's the worst president and she is the worst vice president in the history of our country. 94% of the Republicans, and the only one that wouldn't would maybe a Mitt Romney or somebody like that. But we've gotten great praise for the debate. And based on the polls, like Rasmussen being up 6 today, the first poll out, based on the polls, obviously, I did well in the debate. Also, based on the debate poll.
He says, and he's commented a couple of times today, that he won the debate, and all the polls show that he won the debate. I haven't seen a single one to show that.
Sometimes had, in one case, 92% win. So, look, you come from Fox. You shouldn't play the same game as everybody else. Go ahead.
And this comes after a slew of Fox News contributors panned his performance live in the wake of the debate, from prominent analyst Brit Hume to Karl Rove.
Titled "A Catastrophic Debate for Trump," which reads in part, as is frequently the case with Mr. Trump, he let his emotions get the better of him and did a terrible job at his most important task, tying her to President Biden's failed policies. There's no putting lipstick on this pig. Mr. Trump was crushed by a woman he previously dismissed as dumb as a rock, which raises the question, what does that make him? So can you expand on this? Again, it's still #1 on the website this morning, Carl.
Well, thank you for that. But look, I'm amazed. He was ill prepared for this debate. Everybody knew that that ABC was going to fact check. They said they were going to do it. So be prepared for it. First of all, he should have remembered EIB/TW, economy, inflation, border. Any time spent talking about something else was wasted time. And occasionally, if the world came up, if somebody else, if Kamala Harris or the panelists brought up, the questioners brought up the world, talk about that. But that's what this is where he's winning. If he talks about the economy, inflation, and the border. So fact checking, call him on it.
And even recently, Trump's most trusted ally, Lindsey Graham, thought that it was a missed opportunity. But despite all this, Trump continues to flaunt these anonymous polls that have him winning the debate. You know, polls that you'll likely find alongside his Obamacare alternative that he's been promising for 8 years. Sorry, I stand corrected. He has concepts of a plan.
Yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
When the reality is, regarding the polls in the wake of the debate, 538 collected 3 national polls and 1 swing state poll after the debate, and in all of them, unsurprisingly, more people who watched the debate said that Harris won the debate clearly. On average, 57% of debate watchers nationally said that Harris turned in the better performance. Only 34% said Trump did, which is still ridiculously high considering the things he was saying.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
And yes, even on Fox News during a power ranking segment, all signs pointed to Kamala wiping the floor with him.
I'm going to show you now our power rankings about to be revealed for the first time. We mentioned a moment ago that there are changes, all right? Let's put it into motion, okay? We believe right now that North Carolina and Georgia have had a shift. They've had some movement. So I want to direct your attention down to the southeastern corner of the country. Georgia and North Carolina are considered toss-ups. Our forecast at the moment has Kamala Harris the lead. We've got her at 241. We've got Trump at 219. You need 270 to win. That's the magic number in the end. Okay? And that's our power rankings as of now.
Now, look, make no mistake about it. Trump had a bad night. He rose to the debate repeatedly when she baited him, something I'm sure his advisors had begged him not to do. In the first debate when Biden attacked him, he just kept his cool and kept going. In this debate, he rose to debating, and we heard so many of the old grievances that we'd long thought that Trump had learned were not winners politically. Mm-hmm. And there they all were, talking about how he didn't lose the election and all that. I mean, my sense is that she came out of this in pretty good shape. Now, how long this will last and is anybody's guess. But for tonight, at least, this was pretty much her night.
You're saying she had a good night?
I'm saying she certainly did.
Sean Hannity is in the spin.
Now, can polls be wrong? Of course they can. We know that to be very true considering 2016. But are our eyes wrong? Because they deceive us when we witnessed a madman scream about cats, dogs, and rallies, which he continues to double down on even after news broke recently that schools had to be evacuated and neighbors threatened in Springfield, Ohio as a result of this vile disinformation that he's spreading.
I can say this, we will do large deportations from Springfield, Ohio, large deportations. We're going to get these people out. We're bringing them back to Venezuela.
The mayor of Springfield, Ohio, the police chief, the Republican governor of Ohio have all debunked this story about people eating pets. And now there are bomb threats at schools and kids being evacuated. Why do you still spread this false story?
The real threat is what's happening at our border, because you have thousands of people being killed by illegal migrants coming in. And also dying. You have women dying as they come up. They're coming up in large groups. We call it a caravan. I think I came up with that name, but it's really what it is. 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people.
Question. The other thing that he brought up, which I was kind of surprised by, I guess I would say, is he brought up this misleading false claim that you yourself have talked about in recent days about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, abducting people's pets and eating them, which officials there have said is not true. You yourself acknowledged it may be false on Twitter. You still told people to keep spreading it. But Trump just amplified it to tens of millions of people who were watching. Why push something that's not true?
Well, first of all, city officials have not said it's not true. They've said they don't have all the evidence.
They said they have no evidence.
We've heard from a number of constituents on the ground, Caitlin, who both firsthand and secondhand reports saying this stuff is happening. So they very clearly, meaning the people on the ground dealing with this, think that it is happening.
I saw you say that. I think the media does care about it. I just read a very lengthy report in the New York Times on it. PBS NewsHour did a whole story on it. But can I ask?
But no, this doesn't have him take pause for a second. He doesn't care because all of those around him are just yes men. There's not a spine between them. They just tell him what he wants to hear, like, sure, sir, Laura Loomer will really help your image. An image, again, that had me skip lunch earlier.
What's she saying? I can't understand her. What?
That is why he is censoring
How about it down? 12 and a half, 15, 7 down, $20, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 30. Hit $30 down here, 2 and a half, 5, 35, 7 and a half, 40. Hit $40, 2 and a half, 5, 45, 7 and a half, 50. Hit $50 down here, 2 and a half.
Officer, will you escort this young lady out, please?
Hit 2 and a half now, 5, 55, 7 and a half, 70. What, 2 and a half now, 5, 75, 7 and a half, $80 to 5, 85, 90. $100 and 10, and a quarter, 1 to quarter, 1 and a half, to divide to 2, 2 and a quarter. Hit 2 and a half, to divide 3, equal to bomb 300. Hit 3 and a quarter. Cut 3 and a quarter now, half, 3 and a half, to divide 400. Yeah, but a 4, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half. We're selling the cell phone there, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half. Hit 4 and a half, 475, 505, 5 and a quarter, 5 and a half. I yield back.
Now, all this goes to show is that the debate really hurt him. And when cornered, Donald Trump only knows one way to respond.
It's a place called Springfield, Ohio, that you've been reading about. 20,000 illegal Haitian immigrants have descended upon the town of 58,000 television, saying my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
But the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.